looking Kenny Norton the last round. Slayton just told him, you win this round, you win it. I don't agree with Phil, but maybe that's the way the judges are viewing it. It's been a growingly good fight. The last few rounds have been terrific. It's been the kind of fight we expected from these two fighters, fighting for their share of the heavyweight title. Did you see that? Right. Right. Norton land on Holmes. Holmes, the blood pouring out of his mouth now. Kenny Norton, at age whatever, showing what's made him such an interesting fighter through the years, ever since that March 31st, 1973 day when he came into prominence, breaking the jaw of Muhammad Ali. Kenny Norton working Larry Holmes over. Larry Holmes showing courage now himself. Back against the ropes, trying to push Norton off. Indeed, landing a right. Look at the blood pouring out of Holmes's mouth now. All of the pre-fight talk is gone between the two. Now there is only this. And Kenny Norton is purposeful, methodical, working on the inside. Came up with the left, scored heavily. Kenny Norton desperately, we think, needing to knock the opponent out. But look at him. He could yet do it. He is really wiping up Larry Holmes at the moment.
Coming back real strong in this round, Kenny Norton.
No movement left in Larry Holmes. None at all. Kenny now a little weary, punching himself out perhaps, but still trying to get that one clean blow that would send Holmes to the floor. There have been no knockdowns in the fight. Holmes unwilling to go. Less than a minute to go. No, we've got a little more than a minute to go in the fight. And Norton with the right again. Fans are on their feet, many of them. I'd say half the house. Norton with a left, Norton with a right and a left. Norton on the inside. Norton, who has come to life in the late rounds, despite a round where Holmes excelled in the 13th. Larry trying to fight back, knowing he's got to hang on. Norton clearly in command in this round, eating up Larry Holmes. Holmes taking the punishment. Anybody wants to know if Holmes can take it? Look at this.
Larry Holmes' mouthpiece just fell out of his mouth.
Larry Holmes standing up to the very best Norton can offer. What are they going to say now? I guess that Norton can punch. I'll give Holmes the credit for courage. He's barely standing on his feet. He was sidewise a second ago, but he is still standing and trying to throw his own leg. We have less than 15 seconds left in the fight. Kenny is tired. The sting has gone out of his punches. He's punched himself out. There'll be no knockdowns. The fight, and a great fight, has come to an end.
Great round, great round.
Now, well, the bedlam has overtaken us. Fans trying to pour over us up into the ring. The scene in the ring is pure bedlam. I tell you, I've heard a lot of labels placed on Larry Holmes through the years, and I've been with boxing 25 years, but I never saw a guy put on a gutsier stand at the end of a fight than Larry Holmes just did. And as for Kenny Norton, through all of the years, and despite the advancing years, to have come back the way he did, it's hard now to tell how the judges are going to score this fight. It really is. Holmes had built up such a commanding lead, but you can't tell about judges. We've learned that through the years with all of the controversial decisions. However, if Holmes has won this fight, and this is the end for Kenny Norton, which it doubtless would be under such circumstances, he goes out in the very real sense, the winner, the moral courage of the man, the decency of the man, the gentlemanliness with which he's comported himself through the years. This is a class guy, Kenny Norton. Now, we're waiting, of course, on the decision. Absolute bedlam in the ring. They needed many more security guards here than they have. Fans packed on the ring apron as you look at Larry Holmes, who's tired, who's all but used up. He was ready to go. As Norton seemed ready to go in the 13th, Holmes seemed ready to go in the 15th. But neither man went. And so you folks who stayed with us, have seen for yourselves an exceptional fight. It started out as a one-man fight because of the way Holmes maintained control with that piston-like left. Look at that ring. That's what I was talking about. Now, the announcement. Chuck
We
Holmes.
have a split decision. Judge Harold Buck scores 143-142 Holmes.
Oh, wait a
Judge
minute.
Lou Tebbett scores 143-142 Norton.
How close? How close?
Judge Joe Swessel scores it 143-142 for the new WBC
Gave
champion of the
it to
world,
Larry Holmes.
Larry
Based
Holmes.
upon that early lead, Holmes has been declared the winner. Now I can't see from my position into that melee. Look at that ring. I haven't seen one like this, and this is a lesson for the people here to ring that ring with security guards. The fighters themselves, as fatigued as they are, could get hurt. But 143-142, two judges voted for Larry Holmes and the other for Kenny Norton. 143-142. Larry Holmes crying with joy. He has now got a share of the heavyweight championship of the world. And it would be interesting, wouldn't it, with the way that young man fought tonight, to see him against the two gentlemen fighting for the other share of the crown. It would be interesting indeed. We'll know more about the other two gentlemen on September 15th. Now look at Kenny Norton. That's what I mean. Fought his way through the crowd to shake the hands of the man who beat him. Can I talk to Kenny? Kenny! I don't know if we'll ever get to Larry Holmes. Bill! I'm talking to Bill Slayton now, ladies and gentlemen. Bill, I'd like to talk to Kenny for a moment, if I can. I know how tired he is, and I know how distressed he is. Kenny, can I talk to you for just 1 minute? You know how deeply I feel about you. And I thought, even though the decision went against you, Kenny, our camera's right here, I thought you were just so valiant. He built up a big lead on you. You came back, and you can be very, very proud of yourself, my friend.
I made a big mistake, however, not applying pressure early in the fight. I was going to try to spin this up the first 4 or 5 rounds and try to come on heavier in the last rounds. It just didn't happen, so more power to Larry.
You're a sportsman, as you always have been. And you put it exactly right. You let him make his fight in the early rounds. But what courage you had and what strength you had to come back in the late rounds the way you did. I congratulate you, my friend.
Thank you. It was a mistake on my part, and hey, I paid for it.
Will this be the end for you as a fighter?
I don't know yet. I'll have to sit down and talk to Bill and Bob, and we'll see what happens.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, Howard.
Go in and get cleaned up and arrested. Kenny Norton. And you can't say enough about that man. I'm going to try desperately to get Larry Holmes over here if I can. It's going to be very difficult with that unrestrained mob still in the ring. Chris, can you see if Larry Holmes is still in the ring? I can't even tell from our monitor. Yes, apparently he is. Let's see if we can get him over here.